Hello and welcome to this Tuesday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Kadia Loy Knight. It's the first Tuesday in the month of January, and we extend a warm welcome to you, our viewers, wherever you're joining us from. Coming up on the program, we take a look back on the key happenings in the year that was at the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. That and so much more after the break.
First set of Spark roads delivered. And
the new 18-kilometer corridor, divided into two phases, will divert through traffic from the fragile, congested coastal town center, cutting travel time, reducing transport costs, and unlocking vast development potential inland.
we're exploring 5 key developments for the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development in 2025. Watch the year in review, January 7 on this station.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, January 6, 2026. 6 members of the Judiciary have been sworn into office by the Governor-General, Sir Patrick Allen. The swearing-in ceremony took place on Monday at King's House. Among those taking the oath of allegiance and the judicial oath were Justices Lorna Shelley Williams and Carolyn Ty Powell, who will serve as acting judges of appeal from January 12 to March 27. Addressing the ceremony, the Governor-General charged the appointees to uphold the highest standards of judicial service.
Their continued appointment reflect the confidence reposed in their ability to discharge judicial responsibilities with independence, fairness, and integrity. The nation looks to you to uphold the highest standards of the office in which you serve.
The newly appointed judges and masters expressed gratitude for the confidence placed in them, pledging to serve with diligence and dedication. Chief Justice Brian Sykes, who also addressed the function, revealed that several courts, including the Court of Appeal, were expected to achieve ISO certification in the coming months.
2026, notwithstanding the challenges of 2025, will see us becoming more efficient and better as we continue to serve our people, to deliver to them not just a first-class justice system, but efficient and fair services.
As the government continues its Hurricane Melissa cleanup program, a partnership has been forged with the government of China for the donation of additional trucks. These include excavators, front-end loaders, and other heavy equipment. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says while the vehicles will be assigned to the National Works Agency, they will be placed in the custody of the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF.
So in the event of an extreme weather event, so for example, a major landslide, that will require more than just a private contractor. The equipment will be stationed with the JDF, where they have an engineering corps. They can be mobilized to deal with this. So we are using the resources that are coming either from your taxpayers' money or what is donated to build capacity so that we are in a better position to respond to the next weather event. Dr.
Holness points out that the storm left approximately 4.8 million tons or 480,000 truckloads of debris across the island. This makes the cleanup process lengthy, requiring additional equipment to expand the capacity of the National Solid Waste Management Authority. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has activated its surge plan with the deployment of approximately 600 assessors. They are being engaged to complete damage assessments on a targeted 150,000 housing structures affected by Hurricane Melissa. To date, the ministry has conducted over 56,000 household damage assessments. Under the plan, teams are being deployed in groups of 3 across the 6 hardest hit parishes to complete the remaining assessments within 20 working days. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the operation represents the fastest and most comprehensive household assessment effort in Jamaica's disaster response history. The minister says the surge plan is being funded by the World Food Programme, with ground support by members members of the Jamaica Defence Force National Service Corps. Further moves to support the assessment process include the redeployment of officers in non-affected parishes to support officers in Trelawney and St. James. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is advising that it offers escort services for persons who wish to deliver relief supplies to communities impacted by Hurricane Melissa. Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Gary McKenzie, says the service is available once the appropriate communication channels are followed. Information should be sent to pstebrelief@jcf.gov.jm. That is pstebrelief@jcf.gov.jm.
The communication in terms of where those supplies are from, who is responsible for it, and where it will be going, then that has to be communicated. And once that is communicated, discussions will be had for support once it warrants it. So that is what I obtained.
Meanwhile, ACP McKenzie is urging residents, particularly pedestrians in parishes affected by power outage, to exercise greater caution due to the increased risks on the nation's roadways.
We note that since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, many communities, especially across the western parishes of Jamaica, are without electricity, and that in itself poses some very serious problems for not only drivers of vehicles, to include motorcycles at nights, but also for pedestrians.
ACP McKenzie emphasizes that pedestrians remain among the most vulnerable road users and should take steps to protect themselves. And finally, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz is urging all road users to exercise greater caution and responsibility as they travel on the nation's roads. The renewed appeal follows a fiery motor vehicle crash along the Cooper's Pen Main Road near the Royalton Hideaway Resort in Trelawney on January 4, which claimed the lives of 2 people. Since the start of 2026, 3 persons have died as a result of 2 separate motor vehicle collisions. Minister Vaz describes the early loss of life as deeply concerning, noting that the tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that persist on Jamaica's roadways. In a statement, the minister says the road safety call is not just about one driver or one vehicle. It's a wake-up call to all operators, motorists and pedestrians who use the roadways daily. 2025 ended with a total of 374 fatalities from 325 crashes across the island. This is 9 more persons being killed on our roadways than the 365 in 2024. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Are you living on or in possession of family land? Do you want to sell or subdivide the property? Use eLand Jamaica to search for details on the property. You can complete a title search and verify the owner before you sell the property. If your name does not appear on the title, register the land or clarify the existing title in your name before you sell. A title is a notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one agency, one goal to serve you better.
There's always something happening at Jamaica House to uplift and empower Jamaicans everywhere. So let's now take a journey through Jamaica House Weekly to see what our Prime Minister has been up to in the past week.
We give God thanks for sparing us to see 2026, and we pause to remember the lives lost to Hurricane Melissa.
That was the reflection of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness on Thursday as he ushered the nation into a new year. In a national broadcast, Dr. Holness spoke of significant achievements in 2025 and gave updates on processes to be undertaken in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. He said over 50,000 assessments have been conducted by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing critical data needed to begin payments of reconstruction grants.
Shortly, we will launch a targeted home repair and household rehabilitation program for persons assessed as being tangibly affected by Hurricane Melissa. The JDF, along with volunteer engineering corps from Ghana and Guyana, is already restoring roofs. Modular semi-permanent housing solutions have been ordered to provide shelter for those who have lost their entire homes.
While addressing the inaugural Black River Fireworks Festival in St. Elizabeth, the Prime Minister revealed that Cabinet would meet to finalize categories of assessment and levels of benefit to determine whether damage was minor, major, or severe.
We will finalize the associated amounts that each category will get. For you to benefit, you must have identification. We must be able to establish your identity.
The Prime Minister also emphasized that the support would be structured and needs-based, noting that the process was designed to ensure fairness and accountability.
We're not going to be doing it in a way where people are going to get multiple benefits. We want everybody to get a benefit. So we're going to manage it in a transparent and well-run way so that all the people who need the benefit can get the benefit to restore their roofs or restore their livelihoods.
Back to his New Year's message, Dr. Holness reiterated that the overall rebuilding of affected areas and economic sectors would be led by the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA. The agency is being set up to coordinate economic and infrastructure plan for roads, schools, hospitals, security, and local government. Other areas include housing, land regularization, tourism, agriculture, logistics, mining, and the creative industries.
This is our opportunity to purposefully build the Jamaica of the future, the Jamaica we all dream of, but which has long been constrained by structures of the past.
Given an update on the status of utility restoration and schools, the Prime Minister had this to say.
I'm pleased to report that approximately 90% of customers island-wide now have electricity, telecommunications, and water restored, including parts of Black River. We have launched an extensive program of school repairs, and we expect all students, especially those preparing for exams, to return to classes using rotational modalities where necessary.
Dr. Holness also gave assurance that the government would be prudent and targeted in how funds secured through multilateral support for reconstruction and resilience were spent.
While this crisis will necessarily increase our debt, we will continue to be frugal and fiscally conservative. Every dollar spent will be geared towards inducing growth, restoring lost jobs, and recovering economic output in the shortest possible time.
Having been hit by the third most powerful hurricane in global history, the Prime Minister emphasized that as the country faces uncertainty posed by climatic conditions, it also had to deal with shifts in global order.
While no one can predict the future with certainty, the analysis is clear. Climate shocks, geopolitical shocks, and economic shocks will create crises in 2026. We must therefore use our strengths, seize our opportunities, overcome our weaknesses, and protect ourselves from the threats that will come. We must prepare to withstand crises, absorb their impacts, and recover quickly.
Looking back at the achievements of 2025,
we can now claim the third consecutive year of decline in murders. 8% in 2023, 19% in 2024, and 42% in 2025. Though approximately 670 Jamaicans were murdered last year, still far too many, we give thanks for the more than 470 lives spared compared to 2024. This is the lowest number of murders in 31 years and well below the psychological barrier of 1,000. This achievement belongs to all of us,
Dr. Holness says commitments will continue through the SPARK program with approximately 200 roads completed or under construction. The build-out of logistics hub continues apace. And investments in agriculture will focus on irrigation, storage, and agroparks, strengthening our food security.
Let this new year be defined by clarity of purpose, steadiness of effort, and confidence in our shared future. Let us continue building communities that are safer, more beautiful, homes that are stronger, and an economy that works for all Jamaicans.
January is Earthquake Awareness Month, and we take a look at how Jamaica prepares its citizens for the unexpected, from early warnings to safety measures. Here's how earthquake awareness and preparedness is taking place.
The country experiences, on average, in excess of 200 earthquakes per annum, which are minor, which most of them are minor in intensity, having magnitude of less than 4.0. These seismic events has proven how vulnerable Jamaica is to earthquake and its secondary events.
In 2023, Jamaica recorded 345 localized earthquakes, but only 14 were felt.
This is as a result of that tectonic movement or that plate movement that we see being propagated in our region, more or less in the Northern Caribbean, where we find Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. We tend to find that that activity itself is as a response to the plate motion that is recorded there.
The unpredictability of earthquakes makes it harder to plan for them.
While there are signs when we expect excessive rainfall, we can tell you whether there is going to be flooding. Even the temperature we can tell you based on the science. But we can't tell you when or where the earthquake will occur.
And that's why Jamaicans need to be more aware of earthquakes and, as best as possible, be prepared at all times. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, intends to continue its drive to increase population awareness on safety measures and best practices.
This is being pursued through a multi-sectorial, multi-agency approach to strengthen disaster preparedness and risk reduction, in addition to increasing disaster resilience in preparing for, responding to, and ultimately recovering from adverse earthquake events.
Even with this, the Minister of Local Government and Community Development still questions how aware Jamaicans are about the dangers of earthquakes.
As a country, we need now to expand our thinking. We need to ensure that our program of information and education is not just in the month of January, but every week, every month of the year. The question of earthquake and the consciousness as a country that is going to be required to take us through.
The ODPEM has been tasked with getting the message out about earthquake awareness and preparedness.
Going into the schools and engaging the business communities, the private sector is very important. We have to expand the net of working relationships right across the communities. We need to take this message outside of the fine location of the terrain over and to go into communities, in inner city communities, where they might think about earthquake only when it happens.
And so the task of the mitigation agency is to make people aware and prepared for earthquakes all year long.
And over the remaining portion of this year, we just start the year, I have tasked the ADPEM to ensure that every month there are simple messages that can be played. Simple messages. You don't need anything that is sophisticated.
Minister Mackenzie wants students to help as well.
Young people is more driven to technology than many of us do. And these are areas that I believe we can use the messaging, using our school children to help to pass this message around the importance of educating ourselves around earthquake and all the associated effects that an earthquake brings.
In addition to making the public aware, other agencies, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, are reviewing their earthquake policies.
In the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we do have an earthquake policy. And this is now under revision again, because we recognize that we really need to do more in respect to earthquake drills, practices, and so on.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade, too, will revisit some of its training programs among staff and community groups. The October 2023 earthquake has inspired changes.
Coming from our last experience, we realized, though, apart from responders, we do need more trained fire safety inspectors, because we were overwhelmed with requests to do damage assessment to see if the buildings are safe for persons to re-enter. So we are also training more fire safety inspectors.
But at the end of the day, the dissemination of information is vital.
There cannot be too much information out there in the public domain when it comes on to take necessary precautions around disaster.
This Harmony Cove development stands as a powerful testament to the unwavering confidence that investors have in Jamaica's tourism industry and the overall economic climate.
The Mega Tourism and Real Estate Project is among the Ministry's 5 in 2025. Also on the list, Local First, an initiative of the government to ensure that tourism providers are the first in the supply chain. These and more in the Ministry of Tourism Year in Review. Join us on January 14, 2026 on this station inside Jamaica Magazine.
Thanks for staying with us on Jamaica Magazine. As we reflect on the year that was, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service recorded several key milestones that shaped economic management and the public sector transformation. We now take a look at the Ministry's year in review.
2025 was a year of bold steps, historic firsts, and meaningful relief for Jamaicans. And the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service delivered 5 standout moments that shaped our year.
I now invite members of this Honourable House to support the passage of the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2025.
Changes to the Income Tax Act early in the year put more money back into the pockets of Jamaicans and further incentivized business. It raised the personal income tax threshold from $1.5 to $1.7 million, offered a new tax credit for Jamaicans earning under $3 million, expanded tax exemptions for pensioners, increased the equity capital cap for MSMEs from $500 to $750 million, and moved the duty-free threshold for personal and household effects from $500 to $1,000.
By creating an enabling fiscal environment through these measures, this government is working to strengthen its economic framework while addressing social and environmental challenges.
Another major win for taxpayers came with the multi-year increase of the PAYE threshold. It began on April 1, 2025, moving the threshold to 1.8 million, with scheduled increases planned for 2026 and 2027.
Doing it this way means our hardworking taxpayers don't have to guess and spell next year or the next year or the next year if the threshold is going to increase. We believe that the Special Arrears Settlement Program will alleviate the financial burden on taxpayers by providing an opportunity to clear their debts without the additional costs typically associated with late filing and payments.
And so it did. Over 4 months, more than 30,000 taxpayers received relief from long-standing principal balances across education tax, corporate and individual income tax, asset and partnership income tax, and GCT and SCT. The Special Arrears Settlement Program was expected to recover $10 million in government revenue. Instead, it collected a massive $18 billion. On February 13, Minister Favour Williams made history, becoming the first woman to table Jamaica's national budget. The $1.3 trillion budget delivered several boosts, including a 20% duty concession for farm vehicles and major relief for MSMEs.
We're also raising the GCT exemption for small businesses from $10 million to $15 million.
When Hurricane Melissa impacted the island, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service mobilized immediate financial support. Key responses included a 100% payout of the $150 million World Bank catastrophe bond, a major SICRIF payout under its tropical cyclone policy to aid national recovery efforts, and import duty and tax relief for recovery essentials. These measures allowed communities to quickly begin rebuilding and reduced pressure on the most affected households.
In the third supplementary, Madam Speaker, is Hurricane Melissa response and relief. $29.3 billion or $142 million.
And in early December, Cabinet approved amendments to the Income Tax Act, permitting employers to provide tax-exempt disaster relief payments to their workers in areas officially declared as disaster zones.
Under the proposed regime, disaster relief payments will be recognized as non-taxable only where they're provided strictly for personal recovery, welfare, or household needs.
5 moments, 1 year of smart policy and people-centered leadership. From tax reform to disaster recovery, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service delivered stability and support in 2025.
And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Remember, be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Remember to visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more news you can use. On behalf of the production team, I'm Kadia Loy Knight. Stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.